My name is Drew Case. I'm a graduate of the Legal Studies program at Clayton State University and currently a second-year law school student at Emory University School of Law. The Legal Studies program did provide me numerous advantages. First and foremost, it was with the legal research aspect of it. Being a member of the Legal Studies program, I was exposed to LexisNexis, Westlaw. I was actually exposed to a lot of the in-depth in-library study that a lot of my other classmates did not have. This provided me a really big advantage because although the research was more in-depth at Emory School of Law, I was exposed to it already, so I had an experience with it when a lot of my other classmates did not have that experience. With regards to advice on what I would give students or undergraduates thinking about going to law school, I would advise them to really think about this decision because law school is a daunting and challenging task. It is rewarding, but yet it is challenging. I would recommend that they seriously look at the long-term implications of this. A lot of people think that if they go to law school, they're either going to graduate law school and they're going to make a lot of money. That may not necessarily be the case. So I would do the research, get the real-world experience that you can by talking to fellow alumni attorneys that you may know, talk to the professors who are attorneys that teach you, gets a lot of real-world experience to make sure that practicing law is what actually you want to do. Once the student knows that they want to go to law school, I think the next big step is to tour the law schools that you want to go to. Most students have typically 3 or 4 law schools that they're interested in. I would highly recommend you tour every single one of them. And with those tours, I recommend that you go visit the class. A lot of tours do offer the class, but those that do not, make sure you go and visit the class, sit in a classroom proceeding. Then from there, I would try to talk to a lot of the students, a lot of the fellow alumni that you know from the school, and get a copy of the syllabus. See what you can find out about the class, because a lot of people do not realize that the first year of law school, there's a lot of intense reading, there's a lot of intense questions, and a lot of people are not ready for the amount of workload that the school provides. So go with each school, talk to those students. Those students will provide you numerous insights that any admissions office can. Another piece of advice I would give to students considering going to law school is the financial cost. There are numerous amounts of law school scholarships that are given. I was fortunate enough to graduate summa cum laude at Clayton State University, and this afforded me a very good scholarship at Emory University School of Law. There are numerous scholarships that all these top tier and state schools offer that can be advantageous for a person to acquire. There were quite a few things that did surprise me about law school. First being the Socratic method. I heard about the Socratic method, but it's really not explained to you in depth. Law school is where you read 50 to 100 pages, you got to read a bunch of cases, you got to know the reasoning behind it, and then you're called upon in the class to answer that. It's not just a preliminary read or a superficial read. You have to ensure that you understand the arguments and the reasoning behind those arguments, because a lot of times when you are called upon, you have to change the facts, and the professor will do that to ensure that you understand the argument. That was the first thing. The second thing that really surprised me was the amount of time it takes to read and the amount of material you have to read in regards to your first year. A lot of times you're giving a syllabus with 50 to 100 pages to read each night. Sometimes, depending on the class, you have multiple classes in the week, so that's double reading, which that can be a big surprise, which it was to me. Lastly, I am a 2L, and so when you're in your second year, there's a lot of work that goes on with journal, there's a lot of work that goes on with externships, and ensuring that you divide your time and making sure that you have allocated enough time to do those tasks is really important. So those are the things that surprised me. What I like about law school, I really love the opportunity to argue. Most attorneys, the joke is they love to argue, but law school provides you that avenue of unlimited arguments, the ability to argue. And however, you may be able to make an argument, but you got to be able to understand the reasoning and support your argument. So one of the abilities and one of the things I loved about law school, how it provided, was that you examine arguments to the minutiae detail. You examine them to the nth degree to ensure that the arguments are sound, and then in addition to making sure those arguments are sound, you look at the policy implications of those arguments. Those are two big perspectives that I think separates most attorneys from non-attorneys, because you examine the arguments in depth. The other thing I like about law school is you hear the misnomer that, oh, there's a lot of competition in law school, oh, everybody hates each other in law school. While that may be true, there is competition because we are trying to get the best grades. The amount of camaraderie you have with your fellow students, you make study groups, you form these bonds, and you're going through one of the toughest experiences of your life. And forming those bonds with those people, you make lasting friendships. Clayton State did provide me numerous friendships that I still contact today. Two of the graduates from the Clayton State program that I graduated with, I still talk to, and although we do not go to the same school, we still bounce ideas off of each other. First and foremost, criminal law is my number one favorite in the prosecution realm because I like the policy of assisting people who abide by the law, who do their duty to do what's right. I feel that I owe them a duty to protect them when something goes wrong. When somebody else breaks that protection that society has provided them, I feel that it's my duty to hold the other people accountable and to protect them and serve those people. So I believe criminal prosecution is a big aspect of law that I like. In regards to torts, the same formula applies. I like the fact that if there is a victim by somebody else's actions, they deserve to have their wrong right. They deserve to be placed in the position that they were in before this egregious action happened. And so representing those people, helping those people out, that's why torts and criminal law are my two favorite areas of law. My interest in law school has really helped me decide on what I want to do after law school. I was fortunate enough to be one of the limited few people that were selected to be on journal, given its competitive nature, and that has allowed me to increase my writing. This ability to increase my writing has really helped me distinguish about what I want to do. It helps reinforce my idea that I do want to do criminal prosecution. Although I don't know if I want to do it at the appellate level or the trial level, I do know that I really want to do criminal prosecution.